Right, this is a quick video. I just wanted to do this to show people about resealing injector pumps on your car. People think you can do it. It's very difficult, and even difficult when you've got it on the bench like this. Why is that? Well, this one was a bugger. I cleaned off the exterior in the vapor blaster and it came out really nice. However, when it came to removing the pump, now all I do usually, like to take the head off, I just sort of unscrew it a little bit, change the seal, move the pins and put it back on again. But this one wouldn't come out. It just wouldn't budge, and it's all rusty round here and round here. So much so that when I put the seal back in, it cut the new seal, and also it wouldn't tighten down, because when I turned the shaft to change the front seal, it was locked up. So why was it locked up? At the bottom of here there is a little disc that fits right down there. You see that one? It fits right down inside there. That had come out and moved. So consequently it was almost sort of like that look. So instead of being in the centre, it had moved. Because when we jolted it to pry it out, when I jolted it to pry it out, it moved. So, whoops, you've got to be very careful of that when doing these pumps. You can do it, and this is why I made this little stand, so I can take all the bits out, and then I'm going to clean up this very slowly, with a bit of 600 wet and dry, wet with diesel on it, and polish all round here, take off those sharp rusty edges, because there is a counter, you know, there's a chamfer on there, but it was so full of rust, it ate into it. And the one thing you have to watch for these pumps, they are a fiddly bloody thing to do. But it's worth checking to see when you put it together if the shaft turns before you put it on the car. You know, the main shaft, if they don't turn, you're going nowhere. So how do we counteract that? Well, we assemble it with Vaseline or a thick grease, it doesn't really matter. But they are fiddly. Believe me, they are fiddly. Now I've cleaned to my best of ability this piece here. I'll just go around it again with a bit of 600 on that piece here. It's not this piece that's the problem, it's the outer piece. It sticks and causes all sorts of problems. I'm going to clean this up and I'll come back. So now I've cleaned it up, I'm going to try it, make sure it's a nice fit on there. And you see how it drops on? Well, that's how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to drop on and off, but it didn't. It jumped when I pulled it off, and it's pulled that thing out. So how are we going to assemble it? You know, you can't sandblast these. You can't put them through the bead blaster or anything. This is a very precision object. We need to put the springs in, and the only way to do that is hold them in with Vaseline. Vaseline's good because it'll go with the oil. The diesel will dilute it. Next thing, we're going to put another ring on. That's why I buy them. I buy them in packs of about 5, because you get sometimes problems. These beton seals, they are very, very good. Good for temperature. Don't avoid the butyl ones. You know, they're just standard ones. Avoid those. We'll put a bit of grease on there as well. So we'll put a bit of grease on that seal just to help it in its way. The next bit's the tricky bit. Got to get that piece, and again this is where the Vaseline comes in, because this will hold it in place and it won't be detrimental. See? Now you can turn it upside. I thought it was going to drop out there. So now you can turn it upside down, it'll be fine. Now, another thing to watch out for. If we look down here, oops, I always get it mixed up, I don't know why. Right, I don't know if you can just pick it out. There might be a shadow in there, I don't know. Can you see there's a pin here? There's a pin there, and that's got to locate with that slot there, right? Again, that's another thing can jump out. The disc can jump out, the spacer, and also the pin can jump out of this place. And you've got to be really, really clean with all this lot. I mean, you can't emphasise how clean you have to be. So the next thing is, oh, and also just to make life interesting, that hole there has to line up with that pin there. Is it going to go? The pin's at that angle. That's there. See, usually you've got your governor out. Only this isn't, so I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit. There's the pin. Ah, did you hear it jump into place? That is good. Next thing, I've got to put these little springs with the pistons on. One there. And one in here. Now these sometimes break. That is good. We can turn that plate around a bit. And now our springs now won't fall out because of the Vaseline on here. So now we've got to locate those springs in those holes here. Now they are offset. So we've got to turn that bottom disc until they're going to go in. And we've got to get that pump shaft in the hole. There we go. Now. Just going to lift that off again. Did it go in? Go on, did it go in? I think so. I'm going to do it again. Double check. That's it. Keep some tension on it. I bet you I put those ones in wrong. Put these two diagonally opposite ones in here first. Confused. Yeah, sometimes you get them like that, that's just a bit naughty. And you can see why I keep emphasising don't do it on the car. Because if you do it on the car and it all drops out, what a pain. That's why I say do them vertically. They're kind of easy to do. It's just when things go wrong, they go very, very wrong. Now before we tighten it down, just going to put a 22mm key on the end and make sure that shaft turns, which it does. So let's have a look at that. So we need to take these out. Always put the bolts in the holes before you start to tighten down. It gives you a bit of wiggle room to get things sorted. But just be careful, just be really careful of that when you do these pumps. You can do it on your own, but you know, that's one of the problems you'll find. Because if you put this on the car and think, oh great, I've sealed it up, oh it's a bit stiff, I'll just tighten it down, what will happen is you'll bugger up all the internals. It's disaster. It really is. And you only want a little snug down. Well, you don't want to come off. Keep checking. That's good. Yes, the perils of doing injector pumps, eh? Right, that's about it. So the next thing we're going to do is change the front sail, but we've done the front sails before, but I don't want to do that again. I just wanted to show you what can be done now.